Lave radio. It's even louder than me. Hey, wait a minute. That can't be right.
Want to tour the frontier? Travel with Colmac Reeve and our new fleet of passenger starliners. We've opened up the universe for a range of budgets. Option 1. Luxury.
My husband and I like to travel in comfort. The new luxury cabins were like a home away from home. After all, one's home is a castle.
Option 2. First class.
We'd saved up a bit for a really special trip. The first class cabins were like nothing we've travelled in before. Really luxurious.
Option 3. Travel cabin.
We won a trip with Cormac Reeves' monthly lotto. A travel cabin for two on a starliner around the solar system. Once in a lifetime for us. Simply amazing.
Option 4. Basic accommodation.
Me and my mates just wanted to hitch around the universe. It's so great that we have the option of getting a really cheap cabin to see the sights. It saved us loads.
And for the budget conscious and slaves, we have our cheapest option yet.
Well, I needed a...
And we won't sell any of those frozen passengers into slavery, I promise. Colmac Reeves all-budget tours, seeing the galaxy from luxury to freezing tubes.
The Federal Navy. We want you for Adventures Unlimited.
Just last week I was mixing Sidewinder slammers at a seedy space bar. I wasn't even pilot registered. And now I have a ship and a basic starting mission for the Federal Navy.
Owing to recent actions in the Lave region, the Federal Navy now seeks to recruit another 1,000 entry-level pilots. We need you to add your strength to our military machine.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
We have missions for all pilots, regardless of combat experience or flight hours. Come and talk to us and we'll get you on the military ladder. Join the Federal Navy. Make a real pilot of yourself, or die trying.
Wait, what's that? Is that a ship coming? Are they looking for me? What do they...
Lave Radio, transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
Galnet News Digest, 30th of September 3307. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news:
revealing the Joker's deck.
Beluga Bonanza.
Feds failed to get Grom.
A matter of little gravity. Revealing the Joker's deck.
Galnet News Digest, 12th of February 3305. Lady Talitha Ambrose, heir to the Ambrose Foundation, has vanished, and so has all the Foundation's money.
That was how he announced the disappearance of Lady Talitha Ambrose 2.5 years ago. The assets of the charitable foundation, amounting to some 300 billion credits, was transferred through a number of bank accounts, making its eventual destination untraceable, and leaving a number of wealthy families rather less wealthy, and a number of worthy charities with no funds to continue their work. Lady Talitha's mother, Baroness Oksana Ambrose, insisted that her daughter must have been kidnapped and forced to withdraw the credits. After a month-long investigation by the Warglass Detective Agency, funded using the last of the family's wealth, Lady Talitha was found safe and well, but without any of the Foundation's fortune. Addicted to gambling, she'd managed to lose the entire 300 billion credits in a series of games of deadlock poker with members of a secret gambling ring known as the Joker's Deck. A contrite Talitha Ambrose, disowned by her family and with her title stripped, explained that she'd staked the entire Ambrose estate at a lavish event hosted by the Joker's Deck and lost everything. Claiming to be cured of her gambling addiction, she vowed to spend the rest of her life raising funds for addiction support charities. The membership of the Joker's Den is secret, but there are rumours that some very high-up people are involved, including at least one of the famous and infamous Rochester clan. Eric Gunnarsson and Francesca Wolf of the Warglass Detective Agency now say that after a huge amount of additional sleuthing, they are getting close to revealing the secrets of this notorious but shadowy gambling event. As a teaser to these forthcoming revelations, Gunnarsson says that the Joker's Deck was held at Galactic Summit in February and March this year, and that galactic leaders were invited to determine the fate of the galaxy at the Rue Mortelle, the Wheel of Death. Whatever Warglass can reveal, it's likely to be explosive.
Beluga Bonanza. If you've ever wanted to own a beluga, now might be the time to get one. All stations selling Soudkruger ships will be giving an additional 15% discount on dolphins, orcas and belugas from tomorrow the 1st of October for 1 week only. Luxury cabins will be similarly discounted. This will all be in addition to any existing discounts, such as those in Shinrarta Desra and in systems controlled by Li Yong-ri. Commanders are reminded that a cheaper ship means a cheaper rebuy, so these 1 week only benefits could be paying back for years to come. The discounts are being offered following a successful data gathering exercise by the ship manufacturer to find its subsidiary Astrogator Tours some new and exciting tourist destinations. Tourist beacons, including the name of the commander who proposed the location, will be deployed before the end of October.
Feds fail to get Grom. Yuri Grom is believed to have narrowly escaped following an attempt by federal forces to arrest the former admiral after the Delta Pavonis conference was revealed to be a trap. According to Grom, armed federal agents attempted to detain the EG Union dictator, and only the sacrifice of his personal guard made Grom's escape possible. A number of Grom's delegation are believed to have been arrested. However, neither Hudson nor Grom seems ready to back down, and the whole of Delta Pavonis has become embroiled in a conflict between federal forces attempting to arrest Grom and the EG Union trying to give the federal forces a bloody nose. Both sides are offering a special reward to the top 75% of those helping out. Those assisting federal forces will have not one, but 2 fixed mount Class 2 rapid-fire multi-cannons with increased range and phasing sequence, but increased speed and reduced range. Combat pilots assisting Grom will receive 2 fixed mount Class 2 Seeker missile racks with double-engineered high-capacity, increased fire rate and drag munitions, but increased power draw and mass. These rewards will only be issued by the winning side in the conflict. It remains to be seen whether a federal victory could signal the end of Yuri Grom as a power. Duke Simeon Petrescu, the host of the conference that he thought was intended to determine the future of Delta Pavonis, insists that he was unaware of the federal plot to capture Grom.
A matter of little gravity. The Pilots Federation has announced that it'll soon be permitting pilots to disembark on most megaships. Rescue megaships being an exception because of the difficult conditions the medical teams are working in there. Megaships will contain the usual terminals to conduct business, and some stores such as Pioneer Supplies, Vista Genomics and Frontline Solutions. Unlike most existing starports, the social area on a megaship will face out towards space, so you can stand looking forwards towards the von Braun wheels that create the illusion and practical benefits of gravity by applying centripetal acceleration to those inside. Pilots restricted to their own social area, away from such luxury, can only imagine what gravity in space would be like as they stomp around in mag boots, clutching their magnetic gin and tonics and speaking to that bartender with a magnetic personality. But at least they'll be able to give a thumbs up to show everything is just fine.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news, so you didn't have to.
project was our last best hope for news. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long, located in neutral territory. A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads, community members and developers. A shining beacon in space, all alone on a Tuesday night. It was the dawn of the 3rd chapter of Elite. The year's space legs came upon us all. This is the story of the last of the Lavian stations. The year is 3307. The name of the place? Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 360 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station A. And joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our Head of Health and Safety, Ben Moss-Woodward, otherwise known as Air Commander Edelweiss.
How you doing, Colin?
Fine. Thanks for asking. We also have our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psykit.
Hello.
Hello. And we also have our Inhuman Resources Director, Commander Shan.
Hello. Are we going full circle this episode?
Why did you have to take that joke? I was going to take that joke, but never mind. If you wish...
Are we going full circle so you can say it again?
If you wish, you can join us live. Whereabouts are you hanging out, Ben?
I'm currently trying to get back to Lave. I'm bumping into stars that say they want to give me a fuel scoop, and then I fly through their jet cone boost, and they say, "No, we're not giving you a fuel scoop."
Oh dear! Are you getting in trouble?
I'm getting a bit melty.
Oh, all right. We also have the Chris Mark IV. I think he's already there. But if you can't get to us in-game, you can also join us in the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or go to twitch.tv/laveradio, or you can check Lave Radio on YouTube, or you could even check us out on Facebook if it's still working. So let's go around the crew, see what they've been up to for the last week or so. So we'll start with Commander Psykit. Welcome back.
Hiya, I'm off next week as well. I'll tell you right now. Fleeting visit, and then I'm buggering back off again.
Yeah, I was about to say you were missed, but we can reload.
Got to catch me first. I'm like an absolute dodge machine. That's a lie. I can barely move.
What have you been up to then for the last...
Oh, gosh.
God, how long?
Playing video games, doing lots of escape rooms. Like a nonsense amount of escape rooms, to the extent that we're doing 2 more this weekend. I really like puzzles, and it's scratched a bit of an itch. We're not too far away from Cardiff, where we live, and Cardiff has got 4 different escape room places, all with 6 different escape rooms. So we're currently just working our way through them. But that's predominantly it. Also playing video games and stuff. I'm being told that by Ben that he thought that I was a lot younger than I actually am, which I'm taking all the way to the bank. I've made a TikTok. I'm living the youth.
You made a TikTok about the fact that your crewmate
No.
that you're younger.
I made a TikTok account because I am one of the youth.
Yeah, if with Psychic being the youth of today, she's made a TikTok.
Exactly. I am one of those. What's younger than a millennial? That can be me. I can be that one now.
You're Gen Z then.
Oh God.
Sure. Let's pretend that that's the case.
So maybe that's it. We should change your job title to youth counselor or youth voice of youth.
Oh my God.
Youth worker.
Oh my God. No.
Well, first time someone mentioned TikTok to me, I thought they were little mints you got in little packets.
No, those are Tic Tacs.
I know.
Oh dear. Off to a flying start as usual. Shan, you got quite a lot on your plate this time.
I have. I'll start off with stuff I've been doing in game. In my commanding in Colonia, I have been trying to work out an easy way of finding bacterial colonies on the on the planet's surface.
They can be a bit of a fun.
Yeah, back in the bubble, I've been doing wing assassination missions and pulling my hair out in frustration at the interdiction bug.
Yeah,
I'm on the point of giving up on those because it's a bit of a lottery. In real life, yes, we went to see the new Bond film on Saturday, which youngest Mini Shan is in. So he's in the new Bond film.
He's in the new Bond film. Does he die?
I haven't seen the new Bond film. What is he in it?
He is part of the household cavalry section in the film.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so
So he's just in the background being a horsey guy.
Yeah, there's also in the UK Armed Forces contribution to the new Bond film YouTube video that's out. There's an even clearer view of him. So he tried to blag his way into the cinema, quite rightly, by saying, "Look, Daniel Craig said I could go and see the film for free," but of course he had no evidence.
Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, that kind of thing. So he said, "Don't try it." But anyway, and the test subject gamma testing is almost complete. So this week's tests are lap fungus avoidance testing, social media inoculation, water familiarization tests, wilderness survival, total recall, houseplant aversion therapy, and bag certification. So these are all the tests that test subject gamma has been attending this week.
Lovely.
So yeah, he's passed them all. I mean, the ones he was a bit marginal on water familiarization, but I had to I had to turn.
Is that another way of saying you threw him in the river and see if he drowns?
No, because the make of cat we've got. Well, they are mate.
What a breed!
It's like you've got an animal, not a car.
You can't really call it a breed because it's make is.
Oh, okay, it's a mutant.
Anyway, the make of cat we've got.
The make of cat.
Yes.
Or like says cat GTI. Yeah.
You just get confused by driving along too fast because you're going meow.
Yeah. Anyway, so he nearly failed lap fungus avoidance, but that was
What may I ask is lap fungus avoidance?
Well, apparently the slang name for a cat that just sits on your lap and doesn't do anything, it's called a lap fungus.
Okay.
Because it just sits there and doesn't do anything. So this test was to make sure the cat wasn't a lap fungus. So we sort of positioned him on our laps and saw how long he stayed on there. Social media inoculation was I put on one of these cat TV YouTube videos, with little mice and squirrels running around on screen. So he had to, sit and watch the television without responding to the images on YouTube, thus avoiding social media, which we all did this week, thankfully. Wilderness survival is we put a harness on him in the lead, and we tried to take it out for a walk to see how it did outside. Total Recall, we are teaching it to come back with its name. Houseplant, we're teaching
How
it
are you
to...
working it with it come back with its name if you haven't named it yet?
Well, we have an internal name for it at the moment.
Well, isn't that just going to confuse the poor bugger? You go off and call it Bob just now, and then you're
No.
right, congratulations, cat. You've passed. You've now upgraded from a Bob to a Robert.
Well, you just teach it again. It doesn't matter. They can't remember too long, can they? Just teach it again.
No, cats can remember years.
Well, we'll find out, won't we? That's another test it can do. And
it's just it's a make of cat again, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the reason why we got this make of cat was it's a Bengal. It's a Bengal cat, by the way, if someone's asking. So the reason why we got the Bengal cat is it's quite like a dog, or particularly border collie, which we've got two of. So the idea, if we have two very energetic dogs, throw in an energetic cat, and they'll wear itself out with like a Tom and Jerry thing. And
whatever also... you do, don't leave any rakes lying around in the back garden.
And so it's also got hypoallergenic fur. So there's a couple of friends of ours who may have cat allergies. So if we thought we got a hypoallergenic,
rubbing the cat in their faces and seeing if they sneeze.
Well, actually, you say that. I was very proud of eldest Minishan, because we wasn't sure whether his girlfriend was allergic to this make of cat. So they came with us when we picked it up, and there wasn't really enough time to see whether she was allergic or not. So he picked a cat up and rubbed it on the neck to see whether it had an impact.
Whether she came out all blotchy or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, that's where we are. I'm pretty sure it'll have a name next week. It's got a few more administration things to.
A few more acceptance testing and things like that.
Yeah. Well, then it's being emasculated on the 25th. So, and in our contract of ownership, we have to have it emasculated before the 4th of November. So.
Oh, right. Well,
what happens on the 4th of November?
Sorry?
What happens on the 4th of November? Does he turn
Nothing.
into a lion?
No. Well, no. It's just that when we brought the cat, we had a contract with the breeder that says we're not allowed to breed the cat, and we have to have it done by a certain date. I think the concern is they don't want thousands of unwanted kittens.
And they don't want anyone breaking their monopoly.
Well, they're not monopoly. There's plenty of people who breed them. It's just a question of, they can. Apparently, a male cat can have produced 25 kittens a month or something like that.
Randy bugger if you've got enough cats around.
Yeah. And also it helps their temperament as well. So
yeah,
we shall see. We shall see what effect it has. But I got told off by Mrs. Shan earlier because apparently I'm feeding it too much.
You're not feeding it lasagna, are you?
No. We feed it wet food with some hypoallergenic cat food as well. So maybe I should add a starvation test or something for next week.
All of a sudden, I've got tons and tons of jokes about Mrs. Slocum and her cat just running through my head now. And out of good taste, I'm not going to say any of them.
Oh, but is Mrs. Slocum's pussy on a leash?
Oh, there we go. Trust Ben.
Well, it has actually been out on the leash. Actually, it was.
What, Miss Slocums?
Oh dear, you've broken Ben already now. I do apologise. I shouldn't have put that idea in his head.
No.
Anyway, okay, well, we'll move on to Ben if that's okay.
Yeah, my weekend is. My week, in fact, has been relatively unexciting in that, apart from, like Shan, I did go and see Bond, although my children were not in it. I enjoyed it. Not really going to say anything more because of spoilers. I think it's a suitable send off though to Daniel Craig and things like that. Yes, it's a good one. I enjoyed it. I think that's really about as exciting as it goes. Other than that, I've been just the usual stuff with usual life and families and work and work is work. Yeah, no one cares about that.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. Just quickly for myself, in game, I've done quite a few missions in the Orange Sidewinder Odyssey missions, just running around, having fun, and then I got into the Adder and stopped having fun. I've had a little bit of an issue out on my trip to Colonia because for some reason my clipper now lands 100-meter higher than it should. So basically lining up the SRV to board the ship again afterwards is a bit of a challenge. I think I've got the hang of it, but like having the interdiction things fixed, I want that fixed as well.
Why is it so hard to put an SRV in an Adder?
It's not an Adder, it's in a clipper.
Same question. Why is it so hard to put an SRV in a clipper?
Because you've got to line up the with the landing bay when the landing bay is still 100 meters above you. The ship hasn't landed on the ground, Shan. There's a bug, which means that it's landed 100 meters above you. So I've got to drive and then around where I approximately think it is, and then look up in the SRV and then shift back a bit, forward a bit, back a bit, forward a bit, until the little blue light turns up to say I can board. It's a lot more difficult than you think.
I think you need a speed docking contest before this bug is fixed.
Well, in the next Colin to Colonia, there I will be showing off the problem that I've got with it. So that'll be on Thursday night. So everyone can laugh at the rest of the stuff. Apart from that, I haven't seen Bond. However, I did go karting, and I did learn one very important fact.
Don't crash.
No, well, that does help, but never have a big meal about quarter of an hour before you go karting, because basically your chances are your stomach won't hold it. So, that was it. It was it was an interesting little trip.
I always wanted the little Ben-Hur blades or something on go-karts.
On go-karts. Oh, to tell you the truth, there was a couple of people there. I wish I had those Ben-Hur blades because they would
go-kart in Mad Max style.
Oh yeah, you know the kind of people that it's supposed to be non-contact, but in order to get past you, they'll just nudge you into the barrier. You know. Although the other thing is, we might have to have new bathroom updates, as it looks as if we might be getting a new bathroom. So that might we might have to resurrect that, which I'm not looking forward to.
Can we design it for you? A bit like
No. I've already been involved in the designing stage, and
that's a shame. We could do like changing rooms. I think Ben, me, and Psykit would be excellent bathroom designers. Don't you think, Ben?
I have to admit, our bathroom that we got redone over the summer has worked out very nicely.
Has he got mirrors on the ceiling, Ben?
No, but it's got lights in the ceiling, and it's got a P-shaped bath, which was something I never even knew existed.
I discovered something very unusual about American bathrooms a couple weeks ago. Is they actually have power sockets in their bathrooms, and Americans are very confused when they come to British bathrooms that we don't.
Well, because we don't want to electrocute ourselves.
That does that. If we have got any American listeners, we would like to know why you're comfortable with electric sockets in the bathroom. For some reason, I'm quite sure, just to satisfy people's curiosity.
Are they standard electric sockets?
We've got shaver sockets, but that's about it.
I had a friend of mine message me, a friend of American friend of mine message me, incredulous that some UK houses have separate hot and cold taps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
absolutely incredulous. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's not uncommon to have shaver sockets in your bathroom, but they're specially, they're special sockets for the bathroom.
You get the feeling that there's not really much happening this week, don't you?
Well, Matt has got a good point. So yes, America is only 110 volts, not 240.
Is it the ampage and frequency as well? Isn't the
Yeah,
frequency?
everything's a bit different in America.
I thought the frequency for UK sockets is especially designed to stop the heart or something, isn't it?
Just spoils the surprise of making toast in the bath, doesn't it? Anyway, right, shall we move?
Can I just, before we move on?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so remember Back to the Future 2?
Vaguely.
Right. Didn't he kill Biff or something like that with a TV in the bath? Or didn't something happen to somebody with a TV in the bath? And obviously that would be in America.
I remember him being with Biff in the bath, but I don't remember what happened to him.
I'm sure I remember something, like in the casino thing that Biff has in the bad part of.
But he was in the room, wasn't he? He was in his bath watching Clint Eastwood in a western, which is where Marty McFly got the idea in the third film.
Mm.
Right. Okay. I wish.
Yeah, I'm sure there was something with. But I'm just thinking, if it's only 110 volts and that won't kill you, how did he do damage to Biff? Or did he? And this is what I can't remember.
Because the plot said so.
Possibly.
Yeah. You know how you sometimes have plot armor? Well, sometimes you've got plot vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently, Ben, sorry, Wiki says, just before Marty and Doc return with Jennifer, Biff returns to 2015 and gets out of the DeLorean and then suddenly has a heart attack, causing the toffee can to break off and fall inside the car. So I don't think Marty murdered Biff Tannen.
There was something with a TV in the bath and things like that. I'm sure there was. I'm gonna have to rewatch Back to the Future 2. Basically, that's the only solution.
Okay, and welcome to the Lave Radio Back to the Future podcast. We'll be back with you as soon as we've gone forward. Oh dear.
Si's nose is out of joint by my calling test subject Gamma a makeup cat.
Why don't you just call it Tesla so you don't get too confused?
That's true. That's a really good point.
No, cars have marks, not makes.
I literally do not give a shit about cars. Cats have breeds, not makes.
Yeah, but makes is funnier. Come on, makes made you laugh, so it was worth it, wasn't it?
It wasn't saying make, it was just how stupid it was.
Right. Break this up. Okay, we're moving past the cat car problem.
Is that the new thing from Micro Knight?
What?
Cat car.
A car was Karr, wasn't it?
Car was Kit.
No, Kit and Car.
Yeah, Car was the evil one.
Yeah, Carr was the prototype of Kit.
Yes. Sorry, Colin, you went there.
It's almost as bad as when you had that wonderful dual-purpose food, Kid E-Cat. Cat food you could also feed to your kids.
I think it's just because it tastes so good.
Can you get that?
It was an 80s thing.
Did you not eat cat food when you were a child?
I didn't.
Oh.
Mind you, I was in Glasgow, so I'm not quite so sure what was in some of that mince sometimes.
Yeah, but you. What
What
are the
was in
local
that mince
Chinese
pie?
serve? What do the local Chinese serve?
Anyway, we shall return to the universe of Elite, and we apologise for taking Thomas the Tank Engine to Tangent Town.
One last thing, Colin. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Ventura
no.
just said, if for those who's wondering, CAR apparently stood for Night Automated Roving Robot.
And I don't give a damn. So
you will when you win the pub quiz with that answer.
Right. Well, let's see what the developers have been saying this week. Well, on Thursday, we had the UI developer stream. Now, this was the first stream where they actually had some developers on, and it was, right, and I apologize in advance to this. We've got Gothio Vicari, lead UI project manager. Pardon? We'll just let Psykit just die at my attempt. And the other one was Geronimo, so...
That was amazing.
Yeah, if there's one way, it's nice to know that I can murder more than one language.
Was that a language?
No.
It was my tongue getting twisted, but no, he was the lead UI project developer for the last 5 years. He's a PC player with over 1,200 hours in the game himself. We also had Geronimo.
He's not a dead alpaca.
Not a dead, an innocent alpaca. Principal UI designer for FDev and lead UI designer for Elite. Dangerous since 2017, and he plays on the console. Now, they touched on a lot of the UI that came with Odyssey, the starport services, the shipyard, outfitting, the mission board, and the maps were touched upon. Just generally, what did everybody think to this this stream?
Am I covering it as our main topic, or are you?
Well, I was just. Did it give you any insights into how they got to the design that they did?
I will say that I can understand where they say they were coming from.
Fair enough. I mean, one of the things we'll pick up on this more in the main topic, I think.
Okay, so being nice. I'm sure they designed everything with the best of intentions, following guidelines that they thought made a lot of sense. I find it very interesting that they all... essentially, it sounds like they came into the project about 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Well, no. The lead UI guy's been there for more than 2017. He said he was there right from the very beginning.
well, sorry, he became lead UI guy in 2017 then.
Gothi has been there from the beginning.
Who? Sorry, Colin?
Okay, haha.
Again, he's been promoted up the ranks, and that's great, and I'm all for that. That promoting internally makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
But it does not explain why it feels like they still had to relearn the same lessons that Frontier had to learn in 2014 and things like that. If they had this experience coming up through the ranks, why did they make the same mistakes? And they didn't cover that, which is why I feel that they came in either with some new ideas that they missed that part or whatever. But it was an interesting stream, and I'm sure they did everything with the best of intentions.
Right. Okay. Well, moving on from there, obviously on Friday we had the Commander Creations, and also today we had Zach and Evil Garrido himself, Bruce, turn up with the latest issues list. Now, this was actually I found this quite interesting, actually. Looking at the issues in question, I mean, do you feel that they've got them right at the moment? Do you think these are the ones that they should be focusing on?
That's not all that they're focusing on, though, is it? This is a list of the top 20 as voted by the by people who are calling up the issues. There's more things that they're working on. They've said that continually.
I'm more interested in knowing what they're not working on.
Well, how long have you got? There's so many issues that have been raised. They can't possibly be working on all of them.
Well, yes, but it's what's omitted from the list is what I'd be interested to know.
But it's a list of the top 20. You could just go to the issue tracker and have a look at everything that's being reported.
Yeah,
if you want to know what's omitted from the list.
Well, yeah, Frontier learned the lesson from that after being bitten on the arse. And people are like, hang on, why is your top 20 list different from ours? They've resolved that issue, Shan.
So have they changed the mechanics by which that
No,
list
you could generate and get the same list. They've told us exactly how they did it, and what things they're sorting on and locking onto. So this is the top 20 issues list.
Yeah,
I think we'll make that next week's main topic.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, I'm just looking through the list at the moment, and yet again, it just seems that there's a couple of items there that it does feel that they should be. If it was up to me and I was doing this is more important than this thing really needs to go in before the other. Yeah, I'd have that in a little bit different, but I guess it's the votes, isn't it?
Yeah, this is totally the votes and what they're doing.
That doesn't. It doesn't necessarily indicate what the team are working on as priority. It's just literally what the people who are voting on the issue trackers believe to be the things that are the priority, which isn't always necessarily the best, the most accurate representation.
Yeah, there are things that have been marked as fixed for Update 8, which I think is quite useful. The DAF hopes not spawning materials. They claim that's going to be fixed in Update 8. The interdiction progress bars not visible will be fixed in Update 8, if not before, Shan. So fingers crossed for that. They've also said that the NPC fighter kills and conflict zones count as progression. That one's been fixed. And I'm not quite so sure about this one. It says thermal conduct too strong and wrong damage increase. Is that one of the engineer options on weapons?
It is, yes, thermal conduit, yeah.
Yeah. Because they fixed the massive quintillion bug, damage bug,
That
which
was super fun.
Well, I know it does feel like sometimes you do need a one-shot weapon. It's just, I think there should be some consequences to having a one-shot weapon. That's phenomenal. But I must admit, it was quite funny to see all the griefers suddenly go, I can kill people with one shot. And then they suddenly realize, oh, that means that they can kill me in one shot. Yes, I'm diverging.
Can I just interrupt very, very quickly?
Go on.
And just say thanks for the raid, EP. It's good to see you. Welcome on in, everybody.
Oh wow! Yes, we have a lot of people turn up. Hi, welcome to Lave Radio. You can listen to us, and we'll ignore you.
True facts.
It's interesting.
Also, Shan's here. Just pre-warning.
I am been good. It's interesting on the list. I think we've got a date, haven't we, for Update 8?
Yeah, they say that they're planning to do an update on the week beginning the 18th of October, which I think is great. I mean, I did ask in the chat. I asked whether or not this means that we have a monthly update happening from now on, and the answer was no. It's just that we've been lucky enough that we've been able to get the updates ready one per month so far.
So I'm just looking at the list, sorry, that says investigating and planned release in update 8.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just sort of hoping they investigate pretty quickly to get it into update
8. Which one was that?
Well, there's loads of them.
Oh, right. Yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, there's one, two. Well, there's one that's definitely in progress. But there's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 5 that's still investigating for update 8, and since it's a couple of weeks away, then I think that's a reasonable timescale. So, right.
It also says planned release, so they've got wiggle room to make it for update 11 or whatever.
No, what they mean is planned release. It's like last time they put the release back a week because a bug caused a problem.
The 18th.
Yes,
it's the week beginning the 18th, and even that is only penciled in.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Was anybody else surprised that it was the 18th of October for update 8? I was expecting it sort of like mid-November or something, at the earliest.
I was actually, I was hoping that they'd do this. I had a sneaking suspicion that they've got this kind of sprint planning where they go, right, okay, try and fix as much as we can in this sprint, do a test for a week, and then put it out for a month. So you get kind of 3 weeks to hammer bugs and do optimizations and put the new stuff in, and then
it's fairly obvious that their sprint is about a month long.
Yeah. And I think if they can keep this up for another couple of updates, then I think we'll be in a happy place in a couple of months.
Find that happy spot, Colin.
Yes.
Just find that happy spot.
Now on Thursday, they announced is this going to be what we think's going to happen on Thursday? Because they said they weren't sure what Thursday was going to be.
Well, they
confirmed it today.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to the stream, they also said who's coming.
So
who do they hope is coming?
They hope that Crispy Tater Tot, Commander Beetlejuice, and Commander Witherspoon will be joining them for a lore tour of the Azimuth saga. Fingers crossed.
So I think that should be good, and it's well deserved that Galnet News Digest gets to go in there and have a play. And Crispy Tater Tot's awesome as well.
So is Witherspoon going to do it in character? Do you know?
No, he's not spoken to us. We could ask him. He may or may not be listening.
He plays a character? I thought he was always like that.
Don't we all play caricatures of ourselves?
He could come as Tharg the Mighty.
Well, he can do.
Yeah, Tharg the Mighty. Yes. Okay. Well, looking at what has been happening in the in-game events this week, we've had an investigation into the galactic mysteries of the Joker's deck, which is the gambling organization where 30 billion credits were lost. And then on Thursday, there was a I must admit, I didn't see this one coming. The Yuri Gon. Last week we were discussing the conference between the Federation and Yuri Grom, and it turned out it was a good old Admiral Akbar trap. A black ops team swooped in and tried to kidnap the former federal admiral, but he managed to get away, and it's caused an entire civil war. Well, it's not really a civil war, and that's caused a lot of fallout, which we'll be touching on later. San Kruger, of course, received its exploration data, and now everybody can get a 10% off items for the orca, the dolphin, and the beluga, and yeah, there's also luxury cabins that I've got a 10% discount on as well. So if you want to go for your passenger missions, now's the time to do it. On Friday the 1st, Torval lost control of Mastolopus Mining, which is she got bought. The power play leader got bought out of her own mining company, and basically is now elsewhere. This Monday, the federal ambassador has actually condemned the federal president for the entrapment of Yuri Grom, saying that now, when everybody guarantees diplomatic immunity, it means that they don't believe you. And finally, we had an undercover report on the aforementioned Joker's Deck gambling organization, where the reporter has gone missing. Guys, did you think we had another opportunity here to actually upset power play? And has that been lost?
Hoping would. Yeah, I was kind of hoping they'd off him, personally. I was hoping they'd have an upset in power play that gave players the opportunity to have a new power or vote on a new power. Because when Grom came along, there was this whole kind of player influence exercise as to who would the next power play power be. And it's been a while. So, yeah, I kind of wanted him to get offed by it, although it would be the most stupidest way to get killed. To be fair, it's kind of, you just. But anyways, if I was Grom, I wouldn't have gone. I'd have thought, nah, that's way too sus.
Yeah, but apparently that was the beginning of the conference. The conference was going incredibly well. There was an awful lot of the diplomats were saying that yes, it was. They were making significant progress, and then Hudson sent in the Black Ops guys to kidnap him, which that kind of spoils the party, really. Looking at the way the community goal is going at the moment, although the Federation has passed the first tier and is almost at the second, I think the anti-Federation faction, the ones helping Yuri Grom escape, I think they're outperforming the Federation by 2-1, or at least 3-1 now.
I'm surprised that the Feds even made the first tier.
Well, never. You see, that's the thing. Never underestimate the Feds for actually. They do have an awful lot of support, but didn't seem to help them in this one. I think everybody who is not Federation decided to support to support old Yuri.
Is that because Grom has the better weapons?
Well, actually, no, because when you look at the two weapons that were available for the reward, they seemed very, very balanced. As far as I thought so. Yuri Grom, you get double engineered missiles, and for the Federation, you get double engineered multi-cannons.
The multi-cannons, I don't think are that great. I'd rather have the double engineered dumbfires, personally.
Well, I mean, to me, I'd never use either of them anyway. But yeah, I think this one was it's planned out a lot more balanced. But yeah, as they say in the as they say in the Loose Screws podcast, the Fednecks are getting their butts kicked. So
I was a little bit, I don't know, with the today's the concept art for the Joker's deck is absolutely brilliant. I love the concept art on the article for the Joker's thing. However, it makes me kind of think, well, you've got all these people walking around in there, but not me. And it's like, what do I need to do to get to this casino? Kind of thing.
Well, do you have 30 billion?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why aren't you there, Shan? You should be there as the Lave Radio representative and losing all your money.
Well, maybe I'm suddenly 30 billion credits richer today. You don't know. But no, I mean, it's great. I love concept art. I think that's one of my things I really enjoyed. But it did give me a slight twinge to think, well, it would have meant more as a story if it had been in game and we could gamble and do what we want in the casino, and all of a sudden this happens. We'd feel a lot more involved in the story if it was our credits or what was our credits that had gone missing.
So what you're saying is that due to the Joker's deck, everybody loses 10% of their credits.
Well, yeah, why not?
Can you just imagine the salt?
Yeah, but you'd be motivated to find out who did it, wouldn't you? And then if people found out who did it and did the CG, you got your money back.
That is quite good. That is quite good. Right. It's
Does
that
anyone else
time.
feel that the
go on,
Joker's deck is being set up as the start of the next phase?
Didn't they just start phase?
No,
number
phase
here.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's phase 4 of the Azimuth.
Yeah, I think I've got a feeling the Joker's deck thing's going somewhere as well.
Oh, absolutely, because the Wallglass Investigations Agency are magnificent and I love them.
Mm. Yeah, because normally they give you a head up just before something more prominent happens with the organization they've just mentioned.
Something within like about maybe a 2-3 week window, and then it will happen.
Yeah.
I think they'll link it with Salvation. I think Salvation nicked the money.
Possible.
Well, he's got to pay for those hijacking troops of the Aegis megaship anyway, isn't he? He's got to pay for that.
Oh, that's hard speculation there, Colin. I like it.
Well, he's got his carrier upkeep, doesn't he, to pay for?
He just doesn't accept tritium like everyone else.
No, obviously not.
But no, I'm loving what's going on Joker's deck. I'm enjoying this part of the story.
Yeah, I just want to go there. You got the concept art up on screen, and I think all these people there. Why aren't I? Oh, come on, Frontier.
But they have magnetic drinks too.
I bet you can buy a drink from the bar there. Yeah.
As opposed to anywhere else.
Yeah. Were Hoopy casinos actually in Frontier? In either Frontier or Elite, or was it just a thing that was there?
Do you think that's a reimagined image of the Frontier canteen? The staff canteen? Do you think it looks anything like that inside?
No, because we've seen most of it inside. No, and I bet you the people who work at Frontier can't remember what the canteen looks like anyway.
Good grief! How long has it been now? 18 months.
Well, I've heard. Yeah. Well, I heard the canteen was really good at Frontier Towers now.
Yeah, it was.
When we went there, it was just like crusty sandwiches and something. But now apparently it's got really good.
In their new flashy building.
Yeah.
In their new flashy building. So
maybe anyone's been in.
Maybe art is imitating life. Maybe someone like stole 30 quid from the till or something, and they decided to make a story from it.
Why not?
Okay, I think we shall start with the store alert.
Store alert! In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert. Which one will you buy? A store alert, 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 a store alert. Which one will you buy?
And welcome back. Well, there's two things in the store alert, which is quite interesting. in addition to the rewards for the community goal, we now have 10% off paint jobs for all orcas, dolphins, and belugas. So if you want your shiny passenger ship to look something special, it'll now cost you less arcs than normal. But there's a new ship kit for an orca. I bet Grant is kicking himself because he used to fly an orca everywhere. Shan?
I'm nonplussed this week. I mean, I liked the Federal Lance ones last week. But, it's kind of passenger ships, and I don't know, they kind of don't do anything for me, personally. Other than belugas, which are excellent for ramming things, but that's it.
Yeah, I thought you could eject passengers.
Yeah, but you can't see them. You can't see them floating around in space when you eject them, so,
Oh, right, so you
can't,
actually want...
you can't run into their frozen bodies in space, so...
Somehow I got the feeling that you'd be so good as one of the Mirror Universe captains for some reason. Psykit.
Maybe I am.
It is interesting to see a ship kit, though.
I know. Hasn't seen a ship kit for quite a while.
Oh, it's been a hot minute, hasn't it?
The last ship kit I remember was probably the Imperial Clipper, which was so long ago. I think that came out the same time as the fleet carriers. Or was it? No, actually, that was when arcs were first introduced. That's probably the last thing I spent arcs on, to be honest. Yes. So, not much happening with the newsletter this week, I'm afraid. So we will be taking a quick break, and we'll come back with our main discussion.
I spend so much time in my Imperial Trader. I find it really hard to meet people.
I mean, when do you get the time to go to bars when you're taking on courier jobs for the military?
But with VenusDating.com, it was so simple. I just put in my personal details and they found me my perfect match.
I really thought it would be difficult, but Venus Dating made it so simple, with so much in common.
We both like movies, walking along the beach at sunset,
browsing imperial shipyards.
And of course, since we started dating, we've discovered that we both really love
shooting Thargoids.
Let your voyage begin with VenusDating.com for every first.
This is a public service announcement from the Fuel Rats. Please stop what you're doing and pay attention. If we can rescue you, we will, but you can help us help you by following these easy steps. 1. Fly 50 light seconds or so from the system's main star and drop out of Supercruise. 2. Note down the current system and the nearest stellar body. 3. If you're on emergency life support, log out immediately. 4. Go to fuelrats.org and click Get Help. 5. Stay calm, hold your breath, and let our seasoned professionals do what they do best. The Fuel Rats. We have fuel, you don't. Any questions?
He was a space pirate with quirky habits.
Hi. Most people find me quirky. I don't eat in front of people.
She was a busy space liner captain with no time for love.
I've got 50 passengers to take on a space whale watching tour. I don't have time for dating.
But when fate throws them together, the result is pretty inevitable.
You're like no man I've ever met. Forget my job, ship and crew. Where should we go for a date?
It better not be a restaurant.
From Singing in Dreams Entertainments comes a new total immersion experience.
It was incredible. I just put on the headset and it's like I was there, in the story.
Using Singing in Dreams' patented Dreamwear immersion headsets, you'll feel the love.
It were like I could feel everything that plucky ship captain were feeling.
You'll feel the passion.
Let's just say, when they got off, I got off.
You'll feel everything.
Did you enjoy your meal?
Oop. I don't think I should have had that raw seafood.
Signy and Dream Entertainments and Dreamwear headsets, bringing you closer to the adventure. Signy and Dream Entertainment is a division of Signy and Dream military educational software. Combat training software also available. Please be aware that improper use of the Dreamwear headset may lead to psychosis, time loss, memory impairment, and hallucination.
And welcome back. Now, obviously, last Thursday there was the first dev stream. Now, this was the first dev stream that we've had for quite a while, and I think probably since the new CM team took over. And what with the two UI developers that were there, what did everybody think to the format of it? Did it give you the kind of in-depth information about how they came to the decisions that they came to? Chan.
I mean, I watched it twice to sort of like get my head around what they were talking. In terms of the format, I think it was good having the CMs interviewing the developers. So that was a good. What I wasn't quite so keen on is it felt a bit like a Graham Norton interview when they have a star on who is there to publicize their latest film or book, and they don't ask them any difficult questions that anyone else wants to ask them. So it all felt a bit sort of like Graham Norton book pushing thing, but the format itself was a positive.
Psykit.
Would you like a change to that would be maybe posting somewhere going, if you've got any questions beforehand, rather, because Twitch chat moves so quickly, and the YouTube chat and wherever else they're restreaming, something like having chat going, asking questions is a little redundant because things do get missed. So an opportunity to ask those questions beforehand, so a little bit of pre-planning wouldn't go amiss.
So. I think I agree with this. At AMA, well, obviously you filter the questions for abusive and downright daft. But something like that, I think, would have been a better format, because then at least you feel as though players are communicating their feelings and ideas directly, rather than chat on a sofa. But
Ben.
I was okay with the format. They had things they wanted to say and points they wanted to hit, but I wish they'd have accepted it for what it was and made it a fully pre-produced 1 hour long stream or something like that, where when they're talking about, in this concept art, you can see what we were trying at and actually show the concept art that they're talking about at the time, rather than some other random piece of art that they're flicking around.
Do you mean a little bit like Kay's developer stream was? And also, if you remember, I think it was...
No, just make it an offline thing. They could have recorded it during regular office hours, and then have a video editor take the 4 video streams of them talking together and introduce graphics as appropriate and video as appropriate, and then you upload it to YouTube as a premiere.
Yeah, there's only one slight problem with that, Ben, and that is it will cost an awful lot more money than just having 2 guys take an extra hour out of the day.
I don't know if it honestly would or not. Yes, obviously you've got to get the talking bits and things like that done. And yes, somebody's got to then go off and produce that. So yes, it is going to cost it's going to cost a day's worth of work for somebody. I just think it would have made a much better way of getting their messages across. Sai?
They suffered from the fact that Zach was on holiday, in my opinion, because everything that you're describing is something that Zach could have done live.
Well, Zach could have done it live, but Arf can't.
Zach could have done it live. I'm often surprised that Arf manages to get four 4 cameras on the screen half of the time. So,
So it's not to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. So Zach is very, very good with all of this as like seeing what Zach does sort of a little bit behind the curtain. Zach is very clever and he's inspired me to do things certain ways as well. So
what was the rush then?
Yeah.
Well, what was the rush? Why not
No
wait?
idea.
Maybe just their timetable said get it in on Thursday, sorry. Yeah.
Well, no, because
maybe it was scheduling.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been asking for these kind of developer streams. It's I don't know. I've got a horrible feeling that if they'd actually done it as a pre-production one-off hour thing, people would be complaining, "Oh, there's no interaction." It was.
But there wasn't any interaction anyway. They were essentially ignoring the audience.
Yes, they were effectively ignoring the audience, and there was a lot of the audience that seemed to be annoyed by that.
Yeah. So okay, guys, here's a 1 hour thing with the devs. And then, yeah, maybe you could have had a couple of Frontier staffers in channel to be able to give the usual no comment responses during the premiere. They could have done that, I suppose.
Yeah. Sean?
In reply to Ben, I think it depends on the format and the content for pre-recorded. I mean, if you look at there's a few dev streams I remember. One of which I mentioned earlier was Dr. Case. The other one was, I think, is Adam Woods talking about how they got the Thargons to move, and there's also the one about the old planetary taking Horizons. If the subject is interesting enough and it's presented in the right way, I don't think it matters if it's pre-recorded, because you'll get so interested in the subject, you'll think, "Oh, that's cool. Oh, wow, I didn't realise that," and it then becomes an interesting section rather than just, as I say, a Graham Norton interview.
Yeah, and as Sai says, I don't actually care whether it's pre-recorded or not. What was doing my head in was they're talking about something and giving examples about concept art, but it's the wrong concept art that's on screen. And that was happening all the time, and I was really noticing.
Yeah, they
trying to
had
keep up and failing.
Yeah, they had a rolling set
yeah,
number
just
of
a
images.
rolling slideshow.
Yeah, and sometimes that slideshow would contradict what you actually saw in the in what they were talking about. Yeah,
and you're right. I mean, if Arv could have brought up the appropriate artwork when they were talking about it, that would have been in sort of real time editing or real time production would have been great.
Bill, Sean.
I was about to comment that this is a strange sort of show where I'm more positive about a live stream than you or Ben, Colin.
I thought I was pretty neutral on it at the moment, but never mind. I mean, where do you think did they have? Oh, hey, let's try this one. Then, where did you think the UI team hit the right balance between immersion and functionality? Then, Psykit?
Oh, crikey, that's a question.
It is a question.
Specifically on with regard to that stream, or just in general?
I think it to that stream to begin
Okay.
with, and then we'll move out to general later.
Okay, then I didn't listen to the stream. I only saw the images, which is why I've commented in the way that I did, because I was playing Dungeons and Dragons at the time and I couldn't listen to two things. Because normally on a Thursday night I play D&D unless something else is happening. So it might be worth asking someone else that question.
Okay, Shan.
I thought they got the right balance actually in the station services menu. Because potentially, as they said on the stream, that has the potential to be hugely complicated if you don't layer it in the correct way.
Yep.
And so I felt the station services menu, the way they've layered it, I actually thought they did a good job of getting that balance right, because it's got the potential to be horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, they based it on the same layout for the fleet carriers, and I thought that was actually quite good. The fleet carrier interface.
I was really excited when I saw the fleet carrier interface because I was like, oh, maybe this is what's coming in Odyssey. And it was. So that was quite positive.
I think I mean, this is down to probably a point that we'll touch on later on. The only issue that I have, and I still have it, and it's one of these little irritating things that just gets me in the head, is that the commodities market is below the mission board. Whereas in the old UI, the commodity market was always at the top, and then the mission board was underneath. And I still haven't managed to get my head round that yet. It gets me every single time. But apart from that, I'm golden with it.
I bet you I can tell you why that is.
Go on.
I would wager that the commodity market is used less than missions in Elite Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm just saying that it's the one thing that got me. Everything else, I'm absolutely down with.
You know, in this, are we not talking about the mission boards when you're actually on a station, though, rather than the ones on a ship? Or is it kind of both of them?
No, I was on about the commodities market. The layout.
The whole Starport Services menu is when you're on a station, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And just because you're mentioning the commodities thing, and that's on your ship menu.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay. Well, it's in the ship menu because I thought that was one of the things that we were talking about for the beginning. But you know, okay, Starport Services, I thought was what we were discussing.
And I thought Starport Services was when you're looking at the board in the Starport.
Yeah.
I could be wrong there, though. I don't know.
Shan.
There was a couple of things they said that actually I hadn't considered, so I found them quite useful, really. One of them was how they, because they said they deliberately put in an extra click sometimes to make the flow of menus and stuff easier to follow. Because they said if you can easy to make an assumption that a player will just go there, and you can make them just go there, but sometimes you do need that confirmatory click. So there is a certain element of slowing down the flow to bring that in. That was something I hadn't sort of realised before. The other part that I thought was quite interesting was they were talking about the way they've tried to make it. You can see it in VR, so I kind of knew it, but I hadn't heard it vocalized. Is that if you look at this screen in VR, it almost looks like a holographic projection coming out of your ship, doesn't it?
Yes,
it's not like it's not like you're looking at an out of game menu. It's projected onto your helmet or into the ship, and that's what the look they're trying to go for. So I thought that was a good touch, actually. I thought, oh yeah, of course, yeah, that's why they've done that. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. As far as the, I mean, I'm going to be controversial here. The UI that actually enjoy the most out of Odyssey is actually the galaxy map and the system map. I know that's unpopular.
What are you smoking, Colin?
See what I mean?
So, can I ask us? Okay, I just tell me one thing.
Go on.
In the old galaxy map, I used to be able to press the home button to come back to wherever the hell I was.
Yes.
How do I do that now?
It's a button on the right-hand side. So
is there not a keyboard command for it anymore?
I don't know.
I didn't even know that there was a keyboard command button for it to begin with.
It used to be set to the home key, and I would just press home, and I would come back to where I was. And the number of times since Odyssey has come out, and I've been like looking through the galaxy map trying to find places, and then I'm like, okay, that's fine. I think I see something, and then it's like, where the hell am I?
It's funny that, because when I actually go back to the galaxy map in Horizons when I'm playing on my power play commander,
Yeah.
I'm having real difficulty using the old map, or the interface for the old map, and I don't like the interface for the old map now. I much prefer the new one, because now that I can see, because everything's broken down into different categories, I can get to those categories faster. Chan, you first, then psykit.
Well, I'm going to start with the positive thing. The best change they've done to the galaxy map is being able to search for a star system and it coming up. So that is a really good change. So I'm starting positive. The things I don't like about the new galaxy map is shortcuts. You know, the bookmarks. Managing bookmarks is a real pain in the bum, and you can't. And the way they've got the galaxy map, if you flick it to realistic or the other modes, I forget the moment, sorry, but you just have to toggle them. Whereas previously you toggled it and it stayed toggled. You don't need to just flick it. And I don't know, it just seems to be not optimal. And I'm pretty sure, because I at first I thought, well, maybe I haven't got the muscle memory down and it will come and all the stuff. But no, I just find it way clunkier now, apart from the search.
Like it.
I am an equal opportunities hater. I hate both galaxy maps equally. I think I just hate them. I hated it before. I hate it now. It's the one thing in Elite that really grinds my gears, and I mean, there's a lot of things that could probably do that. But I like being. I'm with Chan. I like being able to type in the name of a system. I hate the fact that at the moment, if I do something in the galaxy map or I go and do something, when I next go to the galaxy map, it's forgotten that I've KGB phoned, or it's just like something along those lines. It loses something for me, or I try and do little things that I would like to be able to do, and I cannot think of any examples right now. But even in Horizons, I hated it. In Odyssey, I also hate it. So it's maintained that that level for me adequately.
Well, yeah, at least it's consistent for you. I mean, the reason that I like the map is because, yeah, it makes sense to me that, you know, the stuff on the left hand side is what I'm looking for, and the stuff on the right hand side is the detail I want to drill down on. It just makes sense. I think the only problem I've got with the new interfaces is when I go into the system map, and sometimes the system map seems to lose focus.
Yeah, as I say, it's for me, it's the worst part of the UI. It's even for me, it's even worse than having dots for numbers and stuff like that and outfitting. But yeah, the Galaxy, I just can't get on with it. It's kind of like, why do I need to right click? You know, I'm not using Microsoft Word for goodness sake. I just want to go click and go. And yeah, I don't know. I think I understand after watching the stream why they've done that, because it's kind of like a new player thing and they want it to be console friendly and stuff like that. So I kind of understand why they've done it, but it was almost like a solution looking for a problem.
Yeah, that seems to have opened a can of worms.
Okay, Colin, you're saying it's one of these buttons on the right-hand side, yes, to go. So I am currently in Aurea, right?
Yeah, hang on a sec. I've got to look up this, because I haven't got. You know what happens if I start trying to run the game?
I'm in Aurea, and I've selected Arc, and I'm trying to get it to focus back in on where I am.
Isn't it One above target focus.
No,
Oh, that
by
takes you to.
trending. That's by navigation data.
What about the little go up a couple more?
Set target?
No, a couple more, like the little indicator thing.
That
one above add to bookmarks, whatever that is. No, that's
that
set
one.
target.
No, up,
route.
stop.
We've got plot route. That takes there. Friends, system map, where my stored ships are.
I've got no bloody idea, Ben. Try pressing backspace. See if that does it.
Okay, so no back. Oh no, that's just taking me back here.
Perfect. Cool. Good. That's working as intended then. Cheers,
Isn't it
Galaxy Map. Let's go.
Isn't it wonderfully intuitive?
I think.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is that I haven't had the need to go back to where I've been before, and
Yeah, well, the reason why my use case is I'm quite often like when I was at that Galaxy Map, it was like trying to go off and do a jump using a boost, and I was flying around inside the jet code for absolutely chuffing ages, and not coming up with congratulations, you've now boosted your drive. So I'm like, okay, how the hell do I get back to Lave? And having to basically plot the route manually. So I was like coming out and then sort of selecting a place, finding out how far away it is, seeing it's like too far, trying to find somewhere else, rinse, repeat. And then I might find somewhere, and then I find out where am I. And I'm trying to plot the route, and it's like, sorry, you can't plot a route. So then I've got to go back to wherever the hell I was. And of course, it's a random alphabet suit of a system with a white dwarf in it or something like that. And I'm like, well, where the bloody hell am I? And then I have to go out the map and back in again. And I'm like, why can't I just press my home button?
So So if you came out of the, just for my sanity here, so you would plot somewhere in the galaxy map. You would plot to
so I could plot to Col 285 seconds.
Okay.
And I've zoomed in on it, right?
Right.
And I used to be able to press home on my keyboard, and it would take me back to Lave or wherever I was in the galaxy map.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can focus the targets, but I want to focus on me.
Okay. According to Mephisto in chat, there is a binding to get back to your current system, and they assigned it a few weeks ago. So I don't know whether or not you could have a look in the keybinds and see if it's there somewhere, but where it would be in the keybinds.
Right. If Mephisto's talking about what I think he's talking about, it's in the galaxy map. And it's Galaxy can select current system. And that says move the galaxy map back to where to the system where you're currently in.
And it's not working.
Moves to the home button. And it doesn't chuffing work. I'll even make it backspace as well, just for a giggle.
So
that's actually a bug then.
Well, this could be a bug. This could indeed be a bug.
Yeah, it definitely looks like you need to open a issue on the tracker.
I've been assuming it's a feature they've removed.
But if they've got the keybind in there for it, it should go back.
I think this might indeed be an issue tracker that needs to go up. So let's.
Well, there we go. Look how we've resolved stuff live on air.
I press no, home isn't working, and my newly input backspace key also isn't taking me back to where he is.
Well, that must be a bug then, because
I think that's a bug.
That certainly seems to be the case.
I'm going to make a clip of it inside of Twitch and provide them the evidence of it doesn't working.
Okay, it is working for some people in chat, so it might be that you just might need to raise the ticket. It might be
even weirder.
Local to
that's
you.
Interesting. I wonder why it works for some people but not me.
Maybe they just went, yeah, we're not having that work for Ben, just so it can really infuriate him. Yeah, that's it.
You've got an if statement all to yourself. If commander equals
Don't you know who I am,
Idlevice.
damn you.
If user equals Lave Radio, then.
Yep.
Psykit, do you want to take the next bit?
No.
Or have you moved past that? Is that then Sham then?
Yeah, I was going to ask the question. So, given that what they said on the stream about their design philosophy.
Yeah.
Do we feel as though the galaxy map has followed that philosophy, or did they lose their way a little, do we think?
Well, I think the galaxy map and the system maps still work in the way that they're supposed to. The one place where I think they lost their way was definitely with the outfitting. That's the one that really did my number in.
I will completely and utterly agree with you there. Outfitting does seem like go home, you're drunk.
Well, even now.
Even now.
What did they say that their design philosophy was? Just for those of us who might not have been listening, including me.
Make it simpler for noobs.
Noobs or specifically console users?
New users.
People using like a controller, do you mean?
New users.
Okay.
So what, like, for example, I found out earlier that I didn't have my, I was missing something, and I was like, okay, well, I'll take out my cargo rack.
Huh?
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I can do that. That's dead easy. And then what they've gone off and done is, I've got all of the stuff what I have in my storage places in the outfitting screen as well.
Yes, that's what did my head in.
I'm like, well, what? Yeah, it's like, okay, I've got these things, and I don't even have access to them, and they come up and above everything else. So I'm looking for something to replace a size 8 module. Okay, hull reinforcements. Oh, that's just size 1 stuff. Shield cell banks? No, I think I'm in a bad place for this. Anyway, it shows me I can see all the things which are available in the vehicle hangars.
Yeah.
And then I can see all of my stored things in Shunatu Desra. And I can see where they're coming from here. It's just...
Yeah, because
it's hard to know what can I buy here, what can't I buy here.
Yeah, but what you can buy is orange, and what you can transfer is yellow.
Yeah, it's just... I'm finding it very unintuitive.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, the one thing that got me was the fact that when you actually you try and pick something that isn't available, that comes up with your own stuff, and you suddenly think, "Oh, right, I'll just get that," and then you suddenly realize, "No, I've got to transfer it over to Shinra.
That'll take half an hour. Yeah,
and that'll take half an hour," and you sort of think, "Oh God."
Yeah, I just find it all a bit weird. Knowing what's available where, and
yeah. I know. I'm completely with you on this one, Ben. I mean, the outfitting screen to me is I haven't got my head around it yet, and and I do end up finding that I'm buying everything in storage and putting everything in storage first, and then fitting it to my ship, instead of in the old days. Actually, I'd go to my ship and fit the modules.
Yeah,
I find that's the only way that I've been able to make sure that I've got the module I want.
Yeah, I've just taken something out of my ship, and I've got no way of going off. I can't see if there's any way of me going in and seeing what things have I stored here.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, does the stored modules, does that do? No, that doesn't show me what's stored here still.
No, you have to. I mean, do you want stuff that's just stored
So I took
at
out
your local area?
What I actually just did was I took out a size 8 cargo container, and I stored it.
Yeah.
But unless I know I've taken out a size 8 cargo container, how the bloody hell am I meant to find out what I've just taken out?
Well, it shows you there.
No, it doesn't show me here.
No, you have to go back in and all of that.
I've got to go back in, and then I've got to go through. I've got to go
I'm
through
behind.
all the
I'm
other
watching
things.
you on the Twitch
Sorry.
screen, so I'm actually a couple of
Yeah.
seconds behind you. But
Yeah,
I
I've got
mean, I
to
take
go
your
into
point.
cargo. I've got to go into the cargo racks, and then I can see. Okay, I've got one here.
Yeah.
And I quite like the fact that okay, I can see I've got this one here, and it's at the top. Then I've got all the stuff what I can buy, and then I've got all the stuff available in other
Elsewhere.
places, and I can see where they're coming from. I also just want to see what's in the hangar where I am, though. What have I just taken out? Because I don't know about you, but I'll sometimes strip a ship down to its components to check, just to change things around. And then I was like, oh darn, I can't, and now I'll go off and re-put things in. And I'm like going around all the things, and I was like, should I just bought that, or where's that coming from?
Do you feel though that it's a case maybe of you because you know what it was like beforehand? If people didn't, that's silly, because if people didn't know anything other than this, all they would say is, well, that's crappy UI, because it's not great. There's no denying it there. But if you didn't know that it was better, or that you could have done that before, would you necessarily miss it coming from that sort of angle, their philosophy?
Yeah, if you didn't know it was there,
yeah.
you're quite happy living with it. But
I think you could have fixed it. Just add an extra sub menu here. So I've got all modules, hard points, blah blah blah. Put in another one called locally stored or something like that.
Even something that just
local
thinking about
modules.
Thinking like a controller access, something that you could like use a bumper to move over to. Do you know what I mean? Show only things that are in storage, only things that you can buy here, only things that would be transferred, or like a mixture of the both. Just on a couple of bumpers, if you're using that new player using a controller philosophy.
Yeah, something. We just need something to filter out the, show what filter out certain items, such as the stuff that you've got stored, or you just want the stuff that you've stored. That would be incredibly useful.
You see, what would be wrong? I mean, just spitballing this, but for outfitting, I really like the Coriolis IO interface for planning builds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love the Coriolis IO.
So, what would have been wrong with doing the Coriolis? Because you can see exactly what you want. Only items that are in stock you could choose, or yes, if they're in storage, you could put a little mark or different color to say this is in storage and it will cost this much. So something like Coriolis IO, I guess it's not terribly controller friendly, maybe, but
no, but
I understand what I'm doing with Coriolis IO, and it's really easy to plan the build and see the effect and the cost, and you can pre-plan your build and just click buy, and then all the stuff would come across and be in your ship.
Yeah, I'm wondering. The one thing that I am wondering is whether or not we need to get somebody's fresh perspective on this, because we're all old hands at this game. I'm wondering.
Psychit's of the TikTok generation.
I am so young. I am. Hang on. No, let me think about some young words that people use.
That's sick, isn't it?
No, oh my god, those are words that I used in my youth.
Sick is so 2005, Colin.
Oh dear. Because there was one thing that you generation gapped me on my flight assist off. You said something about I'm feeling so something or other now,
gosh.
And I'm just there thinking, what did you mean by that? God, did I just get generation gapped? And then realised I did.
I don't know what it was now. Oh my gosh.
Seen, that was it. I feel so seen by now. And I'm there going, oh, is that kind of like,
I'm gonna have to Google this. I'm gonna have to find out what it means. I'm so sorry, Colin.
Because both you and Mal used it on me, and I'm there going, okay, I'm just going to act cool and pretend to know what they're on about. But anyway,
wow.
yeah. But I mean, what my point was, I mean, this might be a bit of a big ask, but we need to find someone who's never played Horizons and their only experience is Odyssey, and see whether or not they have the same issues with the UI that we do. I mean, do you think that would be a useful comparison?
I think so, absolutely.
I think that'd be. I would love to. I'd love to get someone who's only played Odyssey's take on things.
From my limited knowledge about community and the community and stuff like that, it takes people a little bit of time to discover how neat the Elite community really is. So we might be waiting a little bit for that.
Yeah, it might be. Considering any Gen Zers out there will probably go, "Oh God, I'm not going on Grandpa Radio."
It's all right. It's all right. I'm down with the kids.
No.
That really physically hurt me to say that.
You know, I felt sorry for you when you said it. Oh dear. Right. I mean, yeah, the outfitting. I think we're all agreeing that that's a little bit. Oh God, no.
Yeah.
However, I did like the shipyard. I thought the shipyard was a vast improvement, and after going through, after the guys had explained their philosophy that, the old shipyard was a tribute to the old Elite with the wireframes and things like that. It didn't give you all the information that you needed to, but in the new one, you can actually see your ship in good detail, spin it around. You can actually see what skins on it. So you've got a good idea of what ship it is. I mean, it took me a little while to get used to the scroll bar at the bottom with all the different ships. But once I got my head around that, double thumbs up, I thought. Chan.
I don't like the ship selection. I just want to live.
There we go.
No, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It just sort of feels like, I don't know, it's screen clutter for the sake of screen clutter's sake. Yeah, I can't tell where it is. I can't tell how much it's going to cost or anything. It's just kind of like, yes, I know what a Corvette looks like. I don't want to see a picture of it. Just tell me where the darn ship is and let me swap to it. Also, I think the timing and the messaging for changing the ship. Do you want to sell it or do you want to use it? Yeah, no, I don't like the new ship selection interface.
I wouldn't have expected anything else.
What's that supposed to be? Coach, are you saying I'm an old fuddy-duddy, not a TikToker like psykit or something?
True story. True story. Never more true words said.
Yeah, I'm completely seen now.
Oh my God.
No, that actually hurt me to say that one.
This is the most nonsense thing that's happened. No, it isn't.
Oh no, it's not. I'm sure we can go down that rabbit hole a little bit deeper.
The alpaca den.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben. I mean, what was your opinion of the shipyard? I mean,
I quite like the shipyard. What I'm trying to now figure out is what and where the bindings are for the show details thing, because apparently there is a binding to show the details, and I want to see that because I haven't seen it. But yeah, I like I love the fact I can see my ships in all their glory, rotate around them. I just want, as I just said, I want to see that show detail screen because I loved what they were showing us on the stream in the concept art, and I want to go and try and find how I actually bring that up for reals.
Mm.
And at the moment, I'm failing.
Yeah. I mean, I must have missed that bit in the yeah, on the stream.
What's store toggle? That's preview mode.
I must admit, I haven't looked at any of these controls yet.
So you see, when you come up, you'll see on details it says "Show Details,"
Hmm.
and I don't know how to bring that up. Because I do want to see what details it has about this eagle that I'm looking at.
Commander XLA says options controls general interface mode UI nested toggle, I believe.
Jesus wept. So, controls.
Yes, and Van Otter is saying,
General
there really needs to be a document to help with your ED bindings. I must admit, I do need.
What I want is I want a filter to just go off and highlight where I am.
It's a shame you can't. It's a shame you can't like share your bindings with other people, or just have like a like
You
an
can.
aura or something. I know you can save the bindings file, but
That's tricky.
It is a bit.
It's like not as clear. It would be nice to have something a bit like a Coriolis, but for your bindings.
Yeah, that would be handy.
I think do HCS not have something where it's like these are the I might be completely mistaken on that.
Oh, I do like this. Sorry, I'm trying out.
Is it working?
It's working.
Oh, that's lovely.
Thank you so much, La. That is. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Yes.
Now that we've actually found it.
So intuitive.
Well, maybe it's set by default if you use a proper key binding thing rather than my bound together.
If you twist
thing
can
over
you
the
bind
10 years.
Does it turn around if you twist your joystick?
Yes.
Then?
So my ship is turning around as I use. It's actually my ship's turning around in the background, all blurred out. It just rotates though; it's not doing pitch and roll.
Well, that actually looks quite good. I love the. Oh, Bitstorm's already noticed this. I love the fact that we've also got the dimensions.
We've got the blue script. We've got the blueprints.
Oh,
beautiful.
wow.
I need to go and assign that key.
And of course, we never even knew this was in. I
So
never
why
even
isn't
knew
that
this was
default? Why isn't it so set to?
It might be, but we have like butchered together keybinds from God knows how long.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the kind of thing we've gone and set up our keybinds, and there's new keybinds in there, but we've just kind of ignored.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So this is a bonus part for mostly Clueless, I guess.
Yeah. I know I'm going to be setting that up as soon as I finish this.
Mm-hmm.
It's so I like this. I do like this.
So yeah, there's a positive.
Yep.
So the shipyard's even gone further up in your estimation.
Oh, hang on, here we go, Colin. We've got an adder for you.
Oh, don't you?
Make sure you mute. Make sure you mute Colin for when Ben shows the adder, just in case he makes exclamation marks that are non-work safe.
Its entire show is non-work safe.
True.
I thought that was the whole point of it.
If you keep making those noises, Colin, when you see the adder, you'll be on the psykit Smut Section.
I don't think it's heavy breathing that I'm having trouble with.
I'm appreciating and enjoying this.
I mean, it's back to the main UI though. The mission boards for both the on foot and for the ship missions. Are you finding that mission board an improvement?
I'd say it's about equal. Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's considerably better, but I wouldn't say it's a lot worse either.
Yeah, I mean, I've got no problem with it. Okay, you want to talk Dumbo, do you, Shan?
Well, I was just thinking, we're going through the interface and stuff like that, and one thing they didn't talk about on the stream, which I was really hoping they would, which is why do we have to go on foot to a console to look at on-foot missions, why can't we have it all available to us, either from the ship menu or that? Because it's kind of like, and also, why have the concourse like a glorified mission board? It's a few UI decisions like that. I think, well, why can't I choose an on-foot mission from my ship, or why can't I choose a ship mission when I'm on foot? Why is it separate?
Because one is on foot, Odyssey is on foot, Horizon's ship-based stuff is in space, and never the twain shall meet.
Yeah, I think
I don't agree with that, but that is what it is.
Yeah, and I think that is I can't even say it now. The main difference between the two modules.
The thing what is different, yeah.
The thing that what is different, yeah.
Differentiator.
Differentiator, delineator. They are. I finally said the word delineator between the on-ship, Horizons and Odyssey, and that's where they've put the line. It's an artificial line, which means that you've got Odyssey, so you get the stuff from the concourse.
Yeah, but just don't show the menu option if you haven't got the expansion.
Yeah, we agree with you. Well, I agree with you anyway, Shan. I think it's complete and utter BS. But for whatever reason, that's what they've done.
Because it's easier. Because it's not a case of just removing one type of mission, because there's loads of different types of missions. I can't remember looking at a mission board. I must have looked at a mission board when I've been in Odyssey on a ship. I must have done it at some point. Does it look the same as?
So when you go into the mission board, there are two options. You have like a space missions and passenger missions with two buttons on the screen. If you had a third button on there that basically had a picture of a spaceman, then you're sorted, then, aren't you?
But you wouldn't have that same. I see it now, but you wouldn't have that same option if you were playing in Horizons. There wouldn't even be that option there. That's right. So
to be honest, sorry, Psych, I thought you'd finished.
So that would be changing how that particular screen looks. So the select mission board with community goals, mission board, passenger lounge, that would change how that looked between Odyssey and Horizons players.
DJ Wiley makes a very important point. He says no one would bother going onto the concourse if you could just get the on-foot missions from your ship menu.
What, you mean people would realise that the concourse is just a glorified menu? That's crazy talk.
Until we get emotes.
But anyway, going back to where we were, I don't even think you'd need to highlight the fact that this is on-foot missions. Why do I care if I'm in a ship? I've got my community goals, I've got my missions, I've got the passengers. Why do I care when I'm looking at, say, the missions? It's still combat, transportation. Then you could also show the kinds of missions here, and then just like we've got in looking at missions, you can see whether or not you're going to a planet or a space station when you're delivering stuff.
Can you still see that now? Does it still show the planet icon?
I don't know if you still can. What does that blue button?
It used to with Odyssey. But if they've changed it, that's another reason why there wouldn't be. I don't get me wrong. I agree with you, but I'm just trying to be from a.
Yeah.
I don't think that I don't think it's a UI decision to have that differentiation. Right. I don't think that covers the user.
Okay.
Anyway, what I would do would have it as in the UI board in the mission thing. You show all your available missions, and who cares where they're going to? And then you go off and say, "Please show me if you care about show me stuff that goes to a planet or as a non-foot thing." That's where you could then go off and say, "I want to filter on this, please."
Right.
And you would get that as a thing you could see.
Okay. Well, I think it's time to move on.
We are running out
from
of time, aren't we?
Yeah, we are running out of time, I'm afraid. I mean, this is a subject that we could go on forever because it is very, very subjective. I mean, for goodness sake, I didn't believe how much trouble I'd say by actually liking the galaxy map.
Hashtag Colin's fault.
Yeah.
I think we haven't got much to discuss in the community corner this week. Obviously, Psykit would like to put a call out for maybe a Mr. Braben to join her on a escape velocity. Is that right?
Hi, David Braben. Big fan. Big fan. Love to have a chat.
For me.
Sorry, flight assist, not escape velocity.
I
We haven't
will,
had an escape
I'm like,
velocity in so
I don't know
long.
what that is.
Of what?
Joking.
Oh, dear.
I'm joking.
Well, that's the thing about the youth of today. You just
Oh
don't
my
know.
god!
Back in my day, we had to invent our own audio dramas. Uphill both ways.
Also, if anybody is interested, Top Shift 129 is now out, where I actually enjoy myself in Odyssey. So there you go.
In another.
In the Orange Sidewinder, because but it'll be back to the adder for 130. Don't worry. We also have our mostly clueless hint from Nerf or Nut, whose hint is: before engaging in a dogfight, go to subsystems and target the enemy engines or power plant, and run half lasers and half Gatling guns with maybe some rockets. So yeah, sub-targeting can make the difference between a quick kill and a long drawn-out fight. Now, Sai,
I got nothing. I got nothing. I've been away for 2 weeks, and all of you have been slacking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know how. I'm sorry, Lave Radio listeners. Psykit is suffering from the lack of smut that you're saying.
We have
not
a solution,
sending it.
Colin.
Yes.
We do have a shout out to Dockers that I believe Psykit has to read.
I'm more than willing.
Oh, yes.
I am more than willing for that.
Okay, well, in that case, before we hit that new level of the barrel, the very bottom, we have a couple of other business items. Obviously, Star Wars Squadrons is free with Amazon Prime Gaming. So if you go to gaming.amazon.com, you can get yourself hold of that, which I thoroughly recommend. I mean, it was only £10, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and on a Steam sale, and we were recommending it then. So, but if you can get it for free, mind you, I've got to go back into it because I think I'm out of practice, and it does seem that Captain Kirk will boldly be going where a lot of people have gone before. But this is true that William Shatner is heading up in the Bezos Blue Origin, or as everyone else likes to call it, the penis rocket, that will be heading into space soon. 90-year-old William Shatner in space. It's phenomenal. Shan.
Is it me, or am I the only one who's thinking that it's completely apt and fitting that Captain Kirk goes up in a wheelie shaped rocket?
100% accurate, yes.
I'm sorry, every single time that I see that rocket, I'm there thinking Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, if he was going to go, because a lot of the original Star Trek crew people are dead, aren't they? Unfortunately.
Yes, but he will be. Go on.
But if William Shatner was going to go, that would be the way to go, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Apparently, it was announced on the BBC this week that James Doohan's ashes, Scotty, they smuggled them up into the International Space Station.
Smuggled them onto the ISS. Can you?
So I wonder how many millions of pounds worth of fuel that costs, you know.
No, it was taken on board. So you know how the Russians were doing civilian passenger missions on up to the Russian section for a bit. It was taken up as part of one of their paying passengers his personal allowance and weight.
So has it got a certificate of authenticity? Because how come? Because do we know?
He got it from his son.
All right, so he didn't just sweep the fireplace out and said, "Oh, that's
No.
Oh, sham.
No.
Are you?
It's all legit. Doing a nice thing for a legend's son.
So did James Doohan actually give permissions for his ashes to go in space?
He was dead.
Yeah, but in your will, you say, "Well, I want." Maybe he said, "I want to be buried in the orange orchard."
It was not
or something.
James Doohan's ashes were split in two. The first half was sent into a rocket into space, as per his wishes. So I think to find out that the other half of his ashes is actually permanently in orbit for the moment, I think that is fantastic.
Well, hang on a minute. No, why didn't you say I want all of my ashes in space? If you say I want half in space and half, so I got one foot in space.
He didn't read or write his will. Neither did you. Moving on.
Yes, I think it's time to do the shout-outs. Now, obviously, since we didn't have a smutty bit, I will hand this particular section over to psykit.
Me? Okay. The Dockers are doing a charity Christmas special. Here we go. I know it says it's only September, and good taste dictates that Christmas should never be mentioned until long after Halloween. But in the world of entertainment, Christmas has to be prepared well in advance. When you think about preparing for Christmas, you're probably thinking about the dinner. Will it be turkey? Beef? How about an enormous cock? Yes, the Dockers are coming back this year with a Christmas special, and they've just set up a Kickstarter on Just Giving. That's right, a Kickstarter on Just Giving. I don't think they quite understand that all of the money will be going to charity. If you haven't heard of it before, Dockers is a mockumentary podcast about the ordinary folk of the galaxy, from the lowly toilet attendants to famous wildlife documentary makers. It's been going for a few years and usually does a live show at LaveCon, late at night, well after the watershed, because it's very, very naughty. If they meet their target, they will put on the Christmas show, though to be honest, they will put it on regardless. They have some rewards in their charity Kickstarter. If you ever fancy being the subject of a documentary, there are a few options to get your name in the show, and some of them are pretty unsavory. Do I need to read everything else, or are we okay?
Oh, you really, 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 really need to read the rest.
Okay, if you
You need to do it in a TikTok.
It's already gone on too long to be a TikTok, but you'd know that if you were down with the kids. Listen to the Christmas special in the comfort of your own home for no additional cost for £5. For £10, for a small additional cost, you can also listen to the Christmas special. For £20, you can have your name read out by the narrator at the end of the show with the credits. For £30 whole pounds, you can listen to the Christmas special in the comfort of your own home for a substantial additional cost. For £40, they have a lifetime supply of Gnosis avian cheese available while stocks last. For £50, a sketch featuring you written and performed by the members of the cast of Dockers. For £200, a character of their choice will perform a sex act on you during the show. This will be a dramatization. That's not how that word is said. Not an actual act, you sicko. A character for £500, a character of their choice will perform an enjoyable sex act on you during the show, which will also be a dramatization.
I like the fact that it costs £300 more to have it enjoyable.
They know their prices. For 1,000 whole of your Great British pounds, they will have your ears surgically removed so that you never have to listen to the show again. That is, however, satire and not a cure for body dysmorphia. For 10 whole thousand of your Great British pounds, the episode will be set in the Star Citizen universe. For £11 million. Are you a farmer, bro? They will record a 40-minute episode exclusively for you. Nobody else will be able to listen to it unless you let them. And you can find that at justgiving.com/team/beyonddockers. You are welcome.
And you can breathe now. Oh, honestly, I hope we get a thank you from the Dockers for this. Jesus. Right, and in other shout-outs, we'll say hello to our sister station, the Hutton Orbital Radio. They broadcast on a Thursday at 8:30, and you can tune in at twitch.tv Hutton Orbital Truggers, or if you want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. And we'll give shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts, which have been appearing lately. That's Alagrab AM, the Black Sky Legion, who also do other space sims and real life science. The Canon podcast for the Spanish speakers, there's the EliteCast, the Fatherhood podcast, Flight Assist, Guard Frequency, who also do other space sims. There's the Loose Screws. We also have New Worlds Zero Prep with Ed, Kai, and Souverine. There's Squeaking Fuel and System Chat. And if you want a literary discussion about science fiction and fantasy books, please subscribe to the Data Slate podcast as supplied by Station Commander Alan Stroud. Now, following this, we have the latest Galnet news as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. See this Thursday for further adventures of Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And thanks to everyone who's chipped in in the Twitch chat. Ben, have you had anybody buzz you?
He did actually have somebody try to kill me when I was flying out the station, and I just like reverse coursed and reversed back in again. He then told me to come out and forget and fuck the show. Who was it? Slam Dunk, I think it was. Can't remember. No, it wasn't. Somebody told me. Yeah, somebody tried to kill me.
He was rather rude about our show.
Oh, he didn't. He was like, come out and face me. And and fuck the show, which I think he was meaning. Don't pay attention to what you're doing on the show. Come out and come out and shoot each other. Yeah.
Yes, I think
not literally. That just
that. Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
but I flew in. I flew inside the. I was already landing on the station because I was trying to get back so we could actually show the UI stuff just as I was flying out. So I was already going to turn the ship around anyway. But that's another thing.
Okay, well, we'll also give special thanks to Commander Tokuso, who creates the music for the introduction of the show. Has anybody got any final comments you just want to say before I round it all out? Nope. Right, well, that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, then you can email info@laveradio.com, hit us up at facebook.com/laveradio, tweet us at Lave Radio, and you can join our Discord server by going to discord.io/laveradio. We have a TeamSpeak server where commanders come to hang out and chat, and you can find that at teamspeak.laveradio.com. Now, do get in touch if you have any questions or if there is anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So thanks to psykit, thanks to Ben, and thanks to Commander Shan. A special thanks goes to today's tech specialist, the Chris Mark IV. And until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this?
Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word.
Space can be loaded.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Special, The State of the Galaxy. With so much having happened in the galaxy over the past year, it's worth pausing to look back on what's happened and at what may happen in the future. By our reckoning, the militant Republican movement in the Empire, the Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army, has been responsible so far for 15 starport bombings. The first 3 Imperial stations on September the 10th, 3306, Kepler Orbital, the 9 Martyr stations, and 2 Marlinist starports. They've also carried out a number of killings, including Prince Harold Duval, one of the leading members of the affiliated counter-terrorism unit, Neve Suetonia, and were responsible for both a war in the Madrid system and a civil war in the Marlinist colonies, and, indirectly, for a federal incursion into Hadrian Duval's Parisa system after they, apparently wrongly, accused him of organising the NMLA. In unrelated news, Hadrian is expecting an heir, which may upset the imperial succession. The loose end in the story of the NMLA is Master Bomb Maker Theta 7, who engineered a daring escape from the Imperial Interrogation Facility, Serene Harbour, a facility that the Empire firmly denies exists, and who remains on the loose. Until he is apprehended or killed, there is a very high likelihood of more starport bombings and a further disruption to the Empire and to the peaceful Marlinist colonies.
The Federation wasn't affected by Republicans. Instead, it's run by them, specifically President Zachary Hudson. Hudson has been challenged in several ways over the year. Corporatist businessman Jupiter Rochester of Core Dynamics attempted a corporatist takeover of the Federation and had to be defeated in battle twice before he could be arrested. Conveniently, his arrest coincided with the Starship One trial, in which it was discovered that Rochester had bribed a number of individuals in the Federal Navy, including Hudson's close friend Fleet Admiral Vincent, to assassinate then-President Jasmina Halsey in 3301. Rochester, who may know important facts about whether President Hudson had any involvement in the plot to remove his predecessor from power, was conveniently sentenced to life imprisonment in solitary confinement without a proper trial, so any evidence he might have will never be heard. Following the 9 Martyrs bombings, Hudson and his Vice President, Jerome Archer, introduced a law permitting the interception of all communications within the Federation. Massively unpopular, the law led to a number of factions leaving the Federation, taking their star systems with them. Until Hudson does a U-turn on this divisive law, the Federation is likely to continue losing systems.
Alliance Prime Minister Edmund Mahon was also affected by Jupiter Rochester, rescuing ship manufacturer Lakon from Rochester's predatory takeover bid. The Alliance elections resulted in a record second term for the Prime Minister. No Prime Minister had ever previously won a second term, allowing Mahon to continue his expansionist policies, pushing the Alliance into space previously held by the Thargoids. Mahon's attempts to create an alliance against the Thargoids at the Galactic Summit in March this year failed when the 9 Martyrs bombings resulted in the summit ending early. Consequently, anti-Thargoid research agency Aegis remained underfunded. When it lost a megaship full of valuable Guardian technology, the work at Aegis was suspended, leading to the resignation of a number of senior figures, something that created an opening for someone else to take over the fight against the Thargoids.
A figure known only as Salvation has been guiding, some might say manipulating, commanders to research the 200-year-old history of Azimuth Biochemicals, an organization that had very early access to both Guardian and Thargoid technology, and which developed a prototype weapon using Guardian power. Salvation, who has an uncanny ability to predict where Thargoids will strike next, claims to have used this weapon to clear the Cornsar system of Thargoids, and there is certainly an impressive number of crashed Thargoid interceptors in the system. But can we trust Salvation if we have no idea who or what he is? And will his intervention lead to the long-absent Thargoid hive ships finally making an appearance?
Azimuth Biochemicals found the sites in the Coalsack Nebula that the Alliance is now exploiting. They were also involved in efforts to hide the coming Thargoid invasion from humanity in 3303, apparently because they'd been attempting to develop hybrid Thargoid human ships, intending first to wipe out the Thargoids and then to control humanity. Their plot failed, partly because Thargoid technology proved too hard to master, and partly because the Thargoid invasion arrived far faster and was far more intense than the Azimuth researchers had anticipated. Logs recovered from their research facilities refer to the Witch, who may have been their leader. The identity of the Witch, who is almost certainly a powerful figure in business and politics, remains a mystery.
2 Dredger clans have been found. The Scrivener's clan was found looting one of the Azimuth Biochemicals megaships, the Hesperus, but suddenly vanished. It may have found something of immense value on the Hesperus, or it may have got wind of something even more valuable. Its whereabouts are unknown, although it's believed to be within 500 light-years off the wrecked Hesperus. The other Dredger clan, the Blue Viper Club, brought onion head gamma strain to the Kumo Council, a drug now used both medicinally and recreationally. The drug also brought the Kumo Council into conflict with pharmaceutical giant Neo-Medical Industries. The Sirius Corporation, under its ruthless leader Lee Yong-ri, is rumoured to be assisting the Kumo Council in distributing the onion head.
The Sirius Corporation has also had a hand in several big expansions. It was Sirius who established the Marlinist colonies after the Imperial crackdown on the NMLA caused Marlinists to flee. When Prime Minister Mahan failed to achieve his stretch goal for building new starports, the Sirius Corporation stepped in to assist. And when an unexpected guest at the Sirius-hosted Galactic Summit, Kumo Council pirate Archon Delane, declared his interest in expanding and becoming a galactic-wide power, it was Sirius who stepped in with the knowledge and funding to establish additional Kumo Council starports.
Sirius had no hand in the Thargoid-worshipping Far-God cult, though. Public subscription helped this nutty but harmless sect to build 3 megaships. One megaship is travelling round human-occupied systems, encouraging systems to sign up to a life of hopeless fatalism. The second megaship will take more pessimistic members of the cult to meet their inevitable fate at the hands of Thargoids. And the third megaship will take hopelessly optimistic Far-God cultists to meet with the Far-God and to be turned into angels. As the Far-God conception of angels is to be a human Thargoid hybrid, perhaps they should have a word with the scientists at Azimuth. But you can bet the Thargoids won't be pleased to see them.
Meanwhile, another witch, Senator Zemina Torval, has split with Mastopoulos Mining, the corporation her imperial slave has lived and died for, and has set up what she calls Torval Mastopoulos Mining. The significance of this move is yet to become clear. Everything in the galaxy, all the stories and all the players, are intertwined. There are many threads that do not yet have a neat ending. Perhaps they never will. But the galaxy remains dynamic, evolving, and exciting to live and die in.